Hi everyone, I'm Lonnie Gasque, and nice to meet y'all. Like they were saying, I was student as well, Proverbs 226, one of the first students with Cyril, and I've actually had the honor of being able to work alongside him at Bank of America. So I really enjoy that. I graduated college 2015 from USC, and I just want to kind of tell y'all about some things I've learned throughout those experiences that I think that really would have helped me early on, and made my life a lot easier. So I'll go ahead and share that real quick. So the biggest thing that I wish I had known before going into high school was that GPAs stay with you. I don't know if anyone else's kind of parents told them this, but I had no idea. And so whenever I first got into high school, I had a difficult freshman year, and that really set me up for a bad start to high school. And I wish that I really had known that the GPA is kind of thick. And so once that first year was difficult, the rest kind of followed suit. And so then I had to make up for it by doing better my last 3 years. And if I had just done well that first year, that would have actually made me so much more comfortable in high school. I had a difficult kind of senior year. Everyone else had maybe 4 classes, and I had a full list of classes. So I wish I would have really made sure to kind of take that time to know about GPA as well. But I'll kind of just open up this to everyone else, all the students that are here. Have y'all ever had a setback in school that made it much more difficult to kind of catch up? And if so, how did you actually take care of that? What would you have done differently if you could have?
You can go ahead and type your answers in the chat or unmute and answer if you like. So the question is, have you dealt with a setback in school that made it much harder to catch up? James says no. That is great.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and my first year, it was very simple mistakes that I made, especially just I think one of the classes that I did poorly in was just Spanish, and it was one of the things where I just didn't think that it was a class that I would have needed, and so I thought, okay, well, if I didn't do poorly, didn't do well in Spanish, then it wouldn't affect my grades. But then I realized that Spanish is calculated into your GPA as well, and so that right there messed me up a little bit. But
And Chase Collins says yes. And Nevaeh said, I struggled with algebra and had to study every day. And Mackenzie said she faced some difficult setbacks too.
mhm. Yeah, it's definitely algebra. Yeah, that's the math is like probably one of the more difficult ones, especially with the concept of understanding it. So I definitely agree with that too.
Yeah. And Alexis says, I had a minor setback in school with my grades and it was hard to catch up, but with help from my teachers and my friends, I easily caught up.
Oh, definitely. I think community is a big thing with that as well, especially in college too. Just being able to kind of talk with other people and see how they're able to understand all the concepts, that really helps. So I do agree with that. Let's see here. The homework is your lifeline, especially in college. That's one thing I've really realized. Whenever I was first going into high school, I was one of those students where I was like, no, I don't need to do homework. I can understand everything from class, and then I can just take the test, and it won't be an issue. I can just pass the class like that. But I started soon realizing that I had to actually study in high school. It was much more difficult than I was understanding. And from there, I was able to see that homework was a huge help from there, especially in college. As you can see here to the right side, where it says the grading scale. So homework is actually in this section, I believe, close to a fifth of your total cumulative total. And this is something that you'll face a lot in college and high school, where the homework is weighted so heavily that if you don't do it, there's no possible way of getting an A, and it'd be very difficult to get a B. And I didn't realize that in high school, and had to make sure I focused on that in college, because that right there the homework helps you with the tests and quizzes, of course. But if you don't do the homework, then you'll have a very hard time getting that grade. Um, and another big thing that I kind of overcame in high school was, I'm not sure if anyone else faces this at home, but I didn't have any Wi-Fi at home, and I felt like everyone else had Wi-Fi, everyone else had printers, everyone else was able to get their work done because they had those things. And since I didn't have this, I was normally spending my time at a local library, or a lot of the time on the way home from school, I would stop at this gas station, and I would use the gas station Wi-Fi. And that was kind of the way that I like really just made sure I got my work done, and it kind of separated me from say my Xbox or anything like that could have distracted me. And so since I was at the gas station, there's nothing that I could really do. I could only do my homework, and so that right there really helped me kind of get my homework done and helped me with being able to, since I didn't have the Wi-Fi or internet or anything at home. Um, does anyone else kind of face these kind of challenges where they're having difficulty getting their schoolwork done? And if so, how do y'all get around that? With using like local libraries or anything, or printers from friends or anything like that?
The question is,
Feel
how
free to
did
type
you
in the
overcome
chat.
the challenges to get your schoolwork completed? Sorry, Lonnie.
Oh, no problem.
James said he did not finish. He did not face any challenges, so he stopped on top of his schoolwork.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? Did you face any challenges completing your schoolwork at home or with friends or whatever the factor may be? Mackenzie said yes. Mackenzie, tell us more about it. What were the challenges and how did you overcome it?
And yes, while you're typing that, I think it's like a little funny story. I used to, whenever I was at the gas station doing the homework with the Wi-Fi, there was a Subway inside the gas station, and so they always knew me. They would always be like, "Oh, you're back again." And I thought it was just like a funny thing. They would always just see me like working in one of the booths, doing my homework and stuff. So just little things that you can do to kind of help yourself succeed, even though it's a little bit difficult time, really does help you in the long run.
And as
Very
a student,
quiet group.
I'll
Very
make
quiet group.
I was just share with the students, and I think the key is if you're having an issue, that's what you need to focus on. Alexis said when she was having issues with algebra, she leaned in on more. So getting the help. Lonnie didn't let anything stop him. He didn't have Wi-Fi, so he found a way to get some Wi-Fi through the library. So I think his first point was do not quit on yourself, or is that later? But there's always a way around for you to get the help that you need. So don't be afraid to ask.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Alexis
not
said,
letting stuff stop.
go ahead, Lonnie.
Oh no, I was just saying, not letting stuff stop you. I know there's a lot of challenges that you have to kind of overcome with getting your schoolwork done, and it makes it more difficult to even want to try. And so I think whenever you're able to tackle those challenges, to actually be able to do it, it makes you feel a lot more accomplished as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Alexis said, I do have challenges with getting my schoolwork done, mainly my homework due to this. Due to this, my grades dropped drastically because I was unable to understand the material that was taught. So to overcome it, I ended up going to class and I was having trouble in during lunch in order to get tutoring from them. That is great. You put in extra effort in the area you were struggling in and you were able to get through that. That is really great.
Definitely, I think tutoring is a big one as well, because they understand it, they know how to teach it well. So like that is a big thing I need to spend your time doing. I did that a ton in college, actually. Like, I was probably doing that probably 3 times a week, just joining some friends, going and tutoring, because especially in college, whenever you get to like electromagnetism, physics, and very high up stuff, it's difficult to understand.
Mm-hmm. Melissa
And then
said,
finally,
I apologize. We have a couple more chats coming in.
okay.
Melissa said, I didn't have trouble getting my homework done most of the time. We didn't have homework, and when we did, it was mostly work that we didn't finish in class. And Mackenzie said, my challenge was time management and making sure I get things done in a timely manner. To overcome this, I set alarms to keep me on pace to get my assignments done.
Definitely. I think time management is a huge one. That's one that I, like, even today, and trying to improve, especially with being able to set time aside for getting homework done, being able to set time aside for things that feel like a little bit less exciting than other things in your life. That's a great one to make sure that you can accomplish. If you can do that, then you'll definitely set yourself up for success.
I like
And finally,
Mackenzie.
the last one.
I'm
Go ahead.
sorry. I like Mackenzie's comment because being able to identify and prioritize tasks, it makes a big difference. What am I going to be able to do by myself? What am I going to need help with? Who am I going to have to? What other resources am I going to have to use to get this done? And I think that's awesome that she's recognizing that, because that's a big deal.
Definitely that is. And here, finally, we have the just building a good foundation. This is something that I've really, really grown to kind of a little bit preach a little bit, because whenever I was in 8th grade, going into 9th grade, I was doing very well in math, and so I was kind of 2 grades up in math. But during that school year, my mom and husband at the time were getting a divorce, moving from house to house, not really having like a place that I could really call like home. And so I felt so out of place, didn't really know what to do. And at that point, my mom was like going through a lot too. And so that school year, I ended up missing about 45 days. I still got decent grades, like B's and C's, and I was able to kind of stay into it. But it was a very, very difficult time. And I remember my teachers and principals, they got together at the end of the year, and they said, you did pretty well in your classes, but they said, we're going to have to hold you back in your math class because you missed so many days. And that was a big struggle of mine. I felt like I did well. I said, like, I did well, so I was upset that I couldn't continue with it. But they were just saying that too many days were missed. And it was one of those things where if I just didn't feel like going to school, I would just be like, hey, do you mind if I stay home? They wouldn't care. So I just stayed home. And that right there was a very big kind of cracking my foundation, to where I didn't feel grounded. I felt like there was nothing kind of holding me together with that. And so that's what I'm saying, to try not to let that happen. A good foundation of having like a schedule, being able to make sure you make it to class, make sure you make it to school, is very big. And just feeling good about like yourself and feeling collected. Along with that, I wasn't really sleeping. I was playing video games and everything. So I think like that right there set me up a little bit for failure. And whenever I was going into 9th grade, actually going into 10th grade, I moved in with my cousins at the time, and they had a very structured life, and so they really like kind of influenced me to have that as well. And that's where I got that foundation, kind of make sure I had everything, my homework done, make sure I was getting all my classes completed. I think having that really helps you and makes you feel like you're not so stressed all the time with class, and it doesn't feel like a chore for the class. And also kind of opening up again, what's something that you can do to improve your foundation and make sure that you're set up for success, where even if you're putting in the work, it actually is able to kind of show and improve how you are with your foundation.
I also have a question for mentors on the line. What is your advice for our students on how to build a good foundation? One of our students said, with what Mackenzie was saying, making sure to finish an assignment in that time limit can also be challenging, especially with the more assignments piling up. So by putting alarms and keeping track can help plots. Then Alexis said, to improve my foundation, I could try to get more sleep because I have insomnia. So I usually only um, get around 1 to 2 hours of sleep, which gets me in trouble at school because I end up sleeping in class. But my teachers ended up asking me why I fall asleep so much, and I told them that I only am able to get 1 to 2 hours of sleep, plus I have a job, so that also affects my sleep schedule, which hurts my academic progress. Thank you for sharing that, Alexis. When you have issues that are outside of school, it is very important to have community around you, and you're being honest with them and letting them help you and give you suggestions and advice is very important.
Yeah, so sleep is a massive one. That like I put as a bullet point here. It's one that improves your health, your brain, makes you be able to function. And that's one that I used to really struggle with as well. Like my teachers used to say I was either sleeping, smiling, or or that's it. So it was a difficult time in my high school as well. So I feel you there with sleep being being a problem. And so I think definitely just allowing yourself kind of shut off anything that kind of keeping you awake. And I know it's difficult to kind of get to sleep at some points, but that is a big one that's good to work on.
Do any of our mentors have any advice for the students on how to build a good foundation?
I have something to put in there. I feel that now that I'm older, I can think back on my younger days, and things that your teachers are saying to you or parents are saying to you, don't always take it as a negative or they're picking on me or I'm never good enough. Take their advice. Talk to them about it. They are just trying to look to improve your life, make it easier on you, and they're not always just trying to micromanage you. I have ADHD, but back when I was in school, I never knew that that's what I had because that really wasn't a thing. It wasn't until I was 42 that I was put on medication that I really realized what the rest of the world, how they dealt with it. Now I look back, I wish the signs that were there, the things the teachers were saying, that I wish I didn't take it as an attack on me and used it as constructive criticism and use that to kind of navigate through school.
Definitely, that advice may seem a little bit much whenever they're saying it, but it is definitely true. They're trying to share some wisdom.
And I think also ways to improve your foundation. We've had this in other sections. Keeping who will be best beneficial to you in your groups, your friend groups, your family groups, reaching out for help, having the right mindset. You may not always do everything right, but surround you with people who can help you, and don't be afraid to ask for help. And just take everything in, like especially with this school, good foundations now lead to better. I remember my freshman year in college, there was a guy in my dorm who never attended class. So he ended up failing every class. The only class he passed was our phys ed, which didn't count for anything. So why would you spend money going to college and not show up for class? But you have to build that discipline now to go to school so that when you're grown, high school, college, you already built that in. And even in the job situations where, sometimes you can have people that don't show up for work without any excuse. Building that, I'm supposed to be here. This is your job right now if you want to look at it for school. Try and do your best to make it and build upon that. So that'll be a good foundation in the future.
Definitely. I think building a foundation is very gradual too. You can't do it overnight. It takes little by little, which kind of adds up to a lot. Maybe with getting sleep, maybe getting sleep 20 minutes earlier than you did last night. That kind of thing is actually a lot in the end. And then say 2 months from now, you're actually being able to get the full 8 hours of sleep each night, stuff like that.
And I saw.
Foundations.
Go ahead, Mr. Rocky.
Foundations. I tried to type in my response, and that just didn't work. My computer was not cooperating. But faith and family. If we're secure in some of those primary relationships, and we don't realize how important they are until something happens and they're not there. But being secure in those primary relationships will make a difference in how we deal with other people, because then I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to defend myself or say, oh, I'm right, you're wrong, whatever, those things, and let's face it, middle school and high school can be a very, very brutal place, and just being secure in those relationships, knowing who you can count on. And that's what, this is all about. The Kids2Career, we're trying to create those kind of stable relationships and help improve those through this program.
I have
That's a great point.
I have a suggestion. Is don't wait until the last minute to do your studying. Study each day. Go over your notes after you finished the class. Go over them as soon as you can again, and take notes. Take notes and go over your notes right away, just in case you did not write something down that you can actually understand. Because sometimes taking notes, you're going fast and your penmanship is not the best. But go over your notes, correct those errors in which maybe you did not write the correct word down or didn't spell it where you could understand it. And then read these notes regularly. Don't wait until the last minute to try to cram what you should have been doing all along. Just every day, every other day, review your notes and don't wait until the last minute. And take help when someone is trying to help you. Don't be offensive about it. Take their suggestions and see if it doesn't help you. Ask for help also. If you need help, ask for help.
That's one of the main things I find that, and I'm told to my children, to adults now, great grands. Teachers want you to learn. They don't want you to fail. So go to them, and if you're having a problem, ask them. I think that's the main problem, and it's the subject that you most have difficulty with. When you've done what you can, many times they show you different ways in which you can, solve a problem. I think that's one of the main things, and one of the things that's been said before, that foundation is so important. Don't select easy courses. Get your core courses out, and those core courses, math, English, science, and those types of things. Everyone may not be great in everything, but you can do it all. You have to just put forth the effort. And even as Lonnie said, even through difficulties, you just have that determination. I'm going to make it. And your will is what makes you go. And no one else has to believe in yourself, but believe in you, but believe in yourself, and you can make it.
Lonnie, I think we have Apologies. I think we have a question for you. You get Diamond is asking. She's curious to know how you chose your majors. It's so many. There's so many different things to study, but how do you know if what you're choosing to study is the right thing and not just a hobby?
Definitely, I think that's a big thing as well, because whenever you have a hobby, it's something that you enjoy doing, and you have to kind of see if with your job, is it going to be something you're still going to enjoy doing, or is it going to ruin your hobby? Is it going to make it more of a job than a hobby? I think that's a big thing that I was looking into, because I really enjoy working out. I love nutrition. I love that. I didn't want that to be my job. I wanted that to be something kind of like an escape from job. And so that's something where I was like, you know what, I'm going to keep this a hobby. I really enjoy this as it is. But something that I think would make a good job in a good field is something that you almost seems like magic to you, something that you don't understand and that you want to understand. You want to explore, you want to find out as much as you can about it. You're passionate about it. And with me, I was playing the Xbox whenever I was younger, and I'm not sure if many people know this, but like a NAT type is kind of how you connect to different players online. And if you have a strict NAT type, you can't connect to many, and if you have open NAT type, you can. And whenever I changed that, I had to log in and change that whenever I was younger. And just doing that right there made me feel like I was casting spells. Like it felt like magic to me. And I was something that I really thought in the back of my head was, I really want to know why that works. Why does that work the way it does? And so that's why I chose computer engineering, because I was so determined to find out more about it. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. It's just being able to find something that you want to learn, you want to be able to grow with. That's a good way of looking at what you want to do in life.
Thank you, Lonnie.
And sometimes it does coincide with your hobby as well. So if that is the case, then that is a good way of finding out more.
I would like to inject this, that sometimes a hobby it's wonderful to have hobbies, but a hobby is not going to always be what will sustain you as far as paying your mortgage, paying the car, buying food, taking care of your children if you have children in the future. So what you want to focus on also is, what kind of career can I choose that will help me be able to enjoy a hobby that I might have. You want to have a career that you can make enough money that is going to help you take care of your basic life, things in life, and your family, and then have enough money left over so that you can do some things that are your hobby. But you want to realize that your hobby is not going to necessarily be what's going to take care of your daily living. So everyone needs a hobby. That's a good thing. But your hobby is not going to always be what's going to help you to make it in life as far as all of your finances that you need to take care of. And believe me now, I didn't know rent had gotten as high as it has until the last few months, I guess. Rent is terrible. So you might as well, if you can, purchase a home, but you're going to have a job that you're going to have to make some money in. So it's wonderful if you can find a profession that you do enjoy. That's great, because it's terrible to go to work every day and hate it. But you want to try to be sure that the profession that you choose, that is something that you do kind of like. It's not necessarily your hobby, but you want to be able to get a profession that is going to sustain your what you need to survive, and then you can have some extra money to even enjoy your hobby. So let's keep those things in mind. I'm sure Lonnie has he has a profession that he likes, but it also has helped him to enjoy some of his hobbies. I know he enjoys going to the beach, right, Lonnie? So
Oh, yeah,
you
of
can
course.
go to the beach. You know, I'll stop.
Oh yes, and I think that's a big thing as well. Like I have a friend who was in college, and he wasn't sure what he wanted to do, and he chose, I believe it was piano. He wanted to be a piano player. So he went to school and was studying that. And whenever he was doing that, he loved piano. It was one of his favorite things. But he ended up quitting after 2 years because he realized that it is his hobby, and he doesn't want it to be his job. And that's one thing that I realized, that kind of a little, it set him back a little bit. But in the end, he became a game programmer, and he works at Blizzard now, and he is doing amazing. So I think that being able to kind of find what you like, but also want to have in your career is a big thing. You can have multiple hobbies, but you can also have one career that actually is able to make you the money, and like just saying, be able to make you enjoy your hobbies even more, be able to afford them, everything.
And I just wanted to follow because I think I read the comment. It's not just picking it, making sure you know the right decision, and you may not always know it, because time is always changing. You're always evolving. You're always learning. So you may start off with one path, and down the line, if it don't work, sometimes you have to change. And people do it all the time. So you never know how things will turn out. You just got to start. You don't want to always base it on finances. So there has to be a balance because you want to be financially secure, but you don't want to do something just for the money because then you'll burn out and you'll probably end up hating it. So it's finding that balance, but not being afraid to choose a path, go it. And if it doesn't work, say, okay, I need to switch over or I need to switch gears. People do it all the time. It's happened throughout. You wouldn't be the first one that questioned that or had that situation. So don't be afraid to pick something, move it, and have to change later on. Change it.
Yeah. What Monique is
Yeah.
saying is absolutely correct because you never know what life is going to throw at you. I thought I was going to make a career in the military. I ended up getting hurt and had to shift gears. It's always flexible, and you can always change your path down the road, and that's the beauty of it. But if you don't try, you'll never know.
And my laptop may die here in a second. Sorry about that. I just now got a warning. The plug's not working. I'm trying to wrap it up really quick. Another big thing is just don't stop believing in yourself. I mean, a lot of people me today, I have a lot of doubt whenever it comes to my job. I feel almost inadequate in some ways about some work that I do. And that right there, I think that's one of the things that kind of stays with you. And I think just kind of taking a step back and saying, I know I am where I am. I am I'm fit to be where I am. I'm good. I'm a good worker person, that kind of thing right there. Just believing in yourself will be something that will get you far in life because many people do doubt themselves and it holds them back. And here it says, I'm the first person in my family to go to college, and that's true. You can see first generation here in my it's all the around your neck at graduation. And then I had no money saved. No one in my family really saved for college. There was no fund or anything, and so it was just grants and scholarships, and then some debt after college that kind of got me through it. And that was a scary thing as well, knowing I was going to have debt. But the biggest thing was being able to do everything I could to lower that and to make sure that I was able to pay it with my career afterwards. And that right there, just I think one of the things is just paying $5 a month to reduce one of my loans by 1% and 1% interest. And that right there, well, that was huge. It's like saved me probably hundreds of dollars in the end, just paying $5 a month. And the little things like that can really help out in the end. And it's definitely worth it. The hardships and the struggles that you go through will pay off in tenfold once you actually are able to graduate, you're holding your degree, and you're able to go to the career that you want. Even if it's the career that you didn't study for, it can be an amazing career in the end. So definitely don't stop believing in yourself. And I appreciate everyone for your time. Hopefully my laptop isn't bad so I can plug it in real quick.
Thank you so much, Lonnie. You are truly an inspiration to these students, and I really appreciate your time today and what you had to say. I think it was a very beneficial conversation.
I have one last question for Lonnie. Thank you. This is very encouraging for me as well. But tell me how Proverbs 2 to 6 in the mix helped Lonnie. Can you hear us?
1 second. It's starting to rain real quick.
Oh, okay. So this is really inspiring, and like all these questions also from our students also really made me think, how passionate are you guys, like, to start a career, start your, or seriously you're taking your school's grades and other things. But I just wanted to thank also Lonnie to put these slides and, like, present this. And one thing I wanted to hear, like, how Proverbs 2 to 6 also played a vital role in transforming his journey towards this. Lonnie, I don't know whether you said like rain was coming, right?
Yes. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry about that. Started raining outside, so I had to come inside. Yes, Proverbs definitely helped me with being able to get through college, especially because it was like I said, with foundation and having that kind of support group to kind of help you out whenever it feels like you're alone. That right there was huge. And not only was I doing this for myself, I was doing this for Proverbs, I was doing this for my family. And I think that actually made me work even harder, just knowing that there's so many people in my corner that wanted me to succeed. And that right there, just knowing that you're not alone, really pushes you. And of course, just Proverbs helping out with the payments and making me feel like I didn't have to be as stressed whenever I felt like I wasn't able to get everything taken care of. I felt like that right there took a lot of stress off me.
Thank you, Lonnie. I just want to tell everyone too that we're here to help you. We're here to guide you in whatever you need. If you need help with your college applications or help with, you need to talk to someone about choosing your major or applying for FAFSA, we're here to help you and guide you with all of those things.